How to Budget During a Crisis 2022. Hello, welcome to Women's Financial Empowerment Group. If this is your first time here, thank you so much for coming. Please go ahead and subscribe, like this video, and share it with your friends. If you've been here before, thank you so much for coming back. I really appreciate you. Please go ahead and like, share, do all those wonderful things. Oh, and hit the notification bell. That way you'll know whenever I upload a new video. On this channel, I discuss all things financial. I discuss making, saving, investing money, and so much more. So you're going to want to come back over and over to hear what I have in store for you. I am a financial coach, and it's my job to help you get from point A to point B on your financial journey. So if you think that financial coaching or consulting may be right for you, go ahead and see my information in the description box, and let's figure out whether or not we'd be a good fit to work together. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you some tips for how to budget during a crisis in 2022. Now, 2022 has just began. It's just the beginning of March, and already we have so much going on. We still have supply chain issues. We have inflation that has driven up the price of just about everything. Now we have a war going on. I mean, it seems like it's never ending when it comes to crisis. And there's still, the pandemic that's been going on for the past few years. So we've really got a lot on our plate. I am a big advocate of budgeting, and so this is no time to not budget. This is the best time to make sure that you're budgeting. If you haven't started, definitely get started with budgeting. If you have a budget already, now may be the time to revisit your budget and to make some tweaks. So I'm going to be sharing with you some tips on how to budget during a crisis. Number one, figure out where you are financially. For so many people during this pandemic, they've lost their jobs or were downgraded or something else happened. So it's important for you to know where you stand. Also, as a business owner, you may have lost a lot of money. You may be struggling due to the supply chain issues. Figure out where you are financially, how much money you're bringing in, and whether or not there's a possibility that you may not be making as much money due to supply chain issues or other issues with your business, or if you also have a regular job. Just think about that scenario and see whether or not you are at risk financially. So that's number one. Number two, you're going to want to make sure that you know what your expenses are. So do an assessment to see what money is coming out, because that's going to be super important. Of course, when you're making a budget, you always look at expenses, but now more than ever, you're going to really want to make sure you know where every penny is going. Tip number three, free up as much cash as possible. During a crisis, cash is definitely king. You want to make sure that you have as much of it as possible so that you can be able to react in a moment's notice and be able to cover whatever emergencies, unexpected situations may arise. In order to free up more cash, there's some things that you may want to do. First of all, you may want to think about what are some things that you don't need that you currently purchase, that you currently pay for. So whether it be for your business, supplies that you normally get that you can do without, or even for your household, think about those things. Or if you can downgrade or go with an off-brand or switch suppliers. So you want to think about these things to see how you can free up some cash. You definitely want to trim the fat on your spending. You want to see how you can lower your spending in each area. So one of the areas is on your debt payments. If you are in the habit of paying more on your debt payments because you want to accelerate them, now may not be the time to work on that goal. Now you may want to shift and free up some more cash by just making the minimum payments or paying less than you were paying before. It obviously depends on your situation. This is general information, and unless I sat down with you as your financial coach, I wouldn't be able to speak to your exact situation. You may want to stop subscriptions. Whether you have Netflix or you have Spotify or Amazon Music or something like that, this may be the time where you cancel your subscriptions. It may just be a temporary situation, or it might be permanent. It depends on your situation. But again, the goal here is to free up as much cash as possible. Another tip is to use coupons more and also cashback apps. I love talking about cashback apps, and I will link a video on that. But one of my favorite cashback apps is the Fetch app. And what that does is all you have to do is just scan your receipts, and then after you scan your receipts and submit them, then you get points towards gift cards. It has been really great for me. I use my gift cards to get cash and do other things, so I highly recommend it. My code for Fetch is U3B2F. At the time of recording this video, the promotion that they have running right now is if you use my code, I'll get 3,000 points and you'll get 2,000 points. But that could change at any given time. So they may have a different promotion where you get more points or less points or what have you. But I highly, highly recommend the Fetch app. And I have also linked that information in the description. Another tip that I would suggest under the same, just freeing up cash is negotiating bills to be decreased. That can seem a little bit daunting, but it's really important to advocate yourself. I definitely preach that for women to just be able to speak up about when it comes to your finances or anything in life, learning to advocate for yourself. So there's certain things that you might be able to decrease your payments, your monthly payments. Definitely speak up and see what can be reduced so that you're not paying out as much per month. The fourth tip is track your expenses closely. Right now, you want to be an expense tracker ninja. You want to make sure you know exactly what's going out, because now is not the time to play around and get comfortable or anything like that. You want to make sure you know where every dollar, every penny is going so that you can be able to make sure you stay afloat during this rough time. The fifth tip, and certainly not the least of these tips, is pad your emergency fund. If you don't currently have an emergency fund, please, that should be a top priority, because if something happens, you want to be able to take care of that. And I'm going to go ahead and link a video about how to go ahead and start up an emergency fund. So that video will get into more depth with that. But you definitely want to make sure that you're padding your emergency fund with that cash that you've got saved up. You definitely want to make sure that you're putting money aside so that you can cover any type of emergency, whether, you lose a job during this time or health. Whatever the case may be, you want to be able to feel more secure and be able to cover those. So those are my tips. I hope they have been helpful to you. I hope you've already liked this video. If you haven't, please go ahead and do that. And please comment below. Let me know what you liked, what could have been added, or what else you'd like to see. That is what really helps this channel to stay afloat in YouTube land, and people will be able to see this video if you're commenting, if you're liking, things like that. So I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Oh yeah, and definitely smash that bell so that you'll know whenever I upload a new video, and share this video with your friends. Thank you so much again for watching, and remember, change your mind, change your pocketbook.